Is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Welcome. Thank you very, very much for joining us here on, guess what? Talk Today. If you were able to join Dr. McAfee and myself earlier, thank you very much for that, as we were filling in for Mr. O.C. And now we're here for the record to Talk Today from early morning to early noon. It's going to be open line until 1 o'clock, and then a quick discussion with our friends over at Rotary. And then also 1:30 onwards, we'll see what happens. But I want to hear from you. Please share your thoughts. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is reminding you.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990. 949-8037 or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard.
And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. It is open line. Go straight to our phones. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
And to you, how are you today?
Not too bad, thankful.
Well, it is, I think, what we are always endeavoring, to be grateful and gracious.
Yes, and we must always be careful we ask for, because I've been asking for a clone of you. And now we're having you for the morning show and now the afternoon show, so we got a clone of you.
And I like what you said at the outset. Be careful what you ask for, you just may get it, right?
To say that too, Sterling.
Uh-huh.
My daughter, when I was carrying my daughter, I said, Lord, if I ever ask you of anything in life, I ask you to give me my daughter on my birthday. And so said, so done.
He's a merciful God. It answers prayers. I mean, for those of us who subscribe to it, it's interesting how we can see, many of the answered prayers. It's always interesting. Faith, they say, can move mountains.
Yes, he can. Yes, darling. Another new week for the Cayman Islands. And, our troubles doesn't go away very easily. Some linger for a long time and some linger for a short time. And every day that we wake and open our eyes, we got to be so grateful. We got to be so grateful,
Mm-hmm.
And, we always say Cayman is so blessed. We are blessed, but we taking advantage of it. And we're not respecting it, All nationalities who are there to a degree, I'm saying we do not respect what we got.
Yeah. If I hear you, I'm inclined to understand what you're sharing from the perspective that all of us who are here are not respecting the place. We're destroying it. We're not being good stewards for future generations.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that, you think? Is it, why are we doing the things we're doing that are negative? Or why are we not doing the things that we know, we should do to make it more positive?
Well, you see, the world is beautiful and it's the people. And it's all the changes that is coming within people, questions and peoples, put it that way. It's all of the different things that we've been exposed to. And it trickles down here in the Caymans with residents coming to live amongst us, or work permit holders, or we traveling overseas and see what's going on. And we want to bring it all to Cayman as well, too. So we was one little small, unique, quiet, relaxing, caring, giving, loving little island. Now today, if we could just stand on each other's feet. I gotta put it this way: the few Caymanans that left, believe me, we wouldn't be able to put a pair of shoes on our foot. Our foot would be so sore. You know, but we just got to stay in prayer and pray for this island, because this island needs prayer real bad.
Yeah. Individually and collectively, right? But faith without works is dead, right? So we have to pray, but we also have to act together.
Exactly. You know, you hear people saying, this will never change and blah, blah, blah. If we don't come together, Sterling, nothing cannot work, like you say. It cannot work. We have to come together.
Take two hands to clap, huh?
Yes. Sterling, I ask you a question. Do you think the Cayman would get to the point that we're going to need noise barriers on our roads, knowing what the noise that we are hearing now from these dump trucks, all of these mufflers, and a lot of noise from various types of vehicles on our roads? And it seems like you go to license department and you license your vehicle, and you come back out here and you can do all kind of foolishness, put on this and put on that, and rev up this and rev up that. And they're doing it, and a police car across them, and like, I don't care. They do what they want to do. They already got a car license, I guess. So whatever it is, it is. But that's not the right way to look at things in life anymore, because then you must remember that our island is small, but the noise is becoming unbearable as the years go by. We got one certain dump truck here on this island. I don't know if you ever heard that truck. I don't know if I can't call it gearing down. Somebody spoke about it one time to me, but I don't remember the exact words they used. But apparently, something is, they say the person doesn't want to drive it, and then again, they say they got something in the muffler, and then again, the person that drives it likes to hear that pop, that bubbling, popping noise, whatever it may be. I don't know exactly what type of noise it is. But it's very unbecoming for such a small island to know that years ago we had all the lights in our cars changed when it came over from the U.S., and all that has been taken away. Now we got all different types of lights in our back lights and our reverse light and our front lights. And Sterling, you know that the majority of these cars that we're getting now, that lights that are in these cars are for those highways there in the U.S., not for a small island. People probably say I'm stupid and I'm an idiot, but the fact is it is true.
Well, I hope they wouldn't say that, because I mean that not only would it be offensive, but as you shared, it's untrue. But to your first point, it's about lack of enforcement. It's a lot of us not ensuring that as a country we have this collective ethos. Now, the noise that you talk about on the roads, there are many, whether it's the Autobahn in Germany or like those very, very large, fast-moving vehicles, despite their size, do so with not only a sense of caution, minimum pollution, but also not that much noise pollution. So if these things can and do happen in larger jurisdictions with more people, more cars, to your first point, why are we not enforcing, insisting, and ensuring that it's the same thing here? You were talking about the lights of the cars, changing the dip so that it conforms with the way we drive on the side of the road, which we drive. Why are we not doing that? Is it that the people don't know any better? Is it that it's something that, just don't care? What is it?
I Sterling, I think most of it too, people come here and make their own rules and regulations. Well, this is my car, and this is how she come. I don't want to change it. But Sterling, I got to tell you, though, those bulbs in those cars that got those, I don't know if they're LED lights or what the heck they are inside these cars, but they're extremely bright.
They are, yeah.
But those bulbs, Sterling, are very expensive. expensive.
Yeah.
They
Well,
are expensive.
very bright and very expensive, whether it's the Xenon, the LED, or others, right? Ms. John, we have the schedule break. Can we pick it up another time?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. And with that, let's just pause, and when we come back, hey, share with us. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Summer's heating up, and so are the good times. Whether you are out on the water, enjoying the beach, or gathering with colleagues for an office bash, make it a feast to remember with Subway. From assorted sandwich platters to mouth-watering cookies, our catering menu has something for everyone. Perfect for groups of 5 or more. For food that's fresh, fast, and perfect for any occasion, choose Subway Catering. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
If you're hearing, then maybe it's time you replace that old appliance. Now until the end of August, you can save 15% on all LG appliances at Brand Source Home Gallery. LG washers, dryers, refrigerators, ranges, cooktops, microwaves, and hoods are all on sale at Brand Source Home Gallery. Not only will you save 15%, you also receive a 1-year parts warranty with any LG appliance purchased by the end of August. Only at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Call 623-5000.
The Car City Summer Savings Event just got better.
This Saturday, August 24th, not only do we have great deals on every new car on the lot, but when you purchase a new car, you'll have the chance to spin and win. We'll be giving away free gas for a year, extended warranties, free servicing, and car insurance.
Plus, we'll have banks and insurance providers on site to assist with your new car purchase.
Visit us this Saturday to save and win big, only at the Car City Summer Savings Event.
Work's new jobs and online payment services is officially live. Experience a more user-friendly site with easier navigation and enhanced features. Job seekers can now explore additional features tailored to their needs. Employers can benefit from a streamlined process for managing job posts and applications. Online payments are now a breeze. Discover more at worc.ky or call us at 945-9672.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thank you for joining us. It is open line 949-8037, 949-6990, or toll free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. Let's go to the phones. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good afternoon, Dwayne.
How are you today, man?
Okay, and you?
Oh, excellent. And thank you for listening, for calling, huh?
Okay. We listened to the show this morning.
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, had a lot of callers calling me.
Yeah, it's really good to know that we can reach and offer people the opportunity, you know? All right.
Okay. Well, back in 1996, I was by Hell gas station in West Bay. It was in the morning time. And I was buying some gas. And the barefoot man pulled up alongside of me. And he had a sticker. on the back of his SUV. And that sticker said, "Surrounded by idiots."
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Is the WhatsApp call on, Miss Susan? Okay, couldn't catch it in time. If the callers on WhatsApp want to try that again, that's 925-32621. Sometimes the buttons click and don't click. So it was Miss Alice May shared earlier. Patience must be a virtue. 8949-8037, toll free with the compliments of Flow at 1-800-534-8255 or WhatsApp call 925-32621. To the last caller's point, many may remember the barefoot man running around with that bumper sticker on his vehicle, and I thought it said, surrounded by 37,000 idiots. Anybody remember the context as to what that was about and why? How was that perceived? What motivated it? What's your view? And if you just look at it today, as the caller said, he thought it was 1996. Whether it was last year or 3 decades ago, is it still applicable today? Is it something that we look at and maybe whatever the tone and temperament was at the time, does it have similar sort of connotations today? Whether in relation to the pace of development, or whether it's in relation to immigration or the sort of social demographic, the political landscape. And what do we do? How do we bring ourselves? I must share that following the opportunity and honor this morning to sit and host For the Record, a number of calls came through after. I'm glad that the individuals were willing to listen. And they were all sharing the importance of having a conversation about where the country is. I think the For the Record show is an invaluable contribution to the country because it allows us, in a very, very convenient time slot to talk about social and political, things that are happening in our country or that are not happening, that are being discussed, maybe not being discussed sufficiently if they are being discussed. So thank people, and the show is designed and geared specifically for that. If you listen to the promo, you have the government and the elected personnel on. Do we go to the phones, Miss Susan? Hey, thanks for calling. Welcome. Thanks for calling. Yes, hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Serler.
And to you, sir. How are you?
Oh, no, bad. It's sad to hear about Mr. Dave Martins. He contributed so much to Cayman as well, and the arts and all that sort of thing with the CNCF.
Yeah.
Along with Mr. Henry Mutu and quite a few others.
Yeah. Mr. Dave, he certainly, for those of us who knew him and had a chance to interact with him, I think he understood, and as time went on, he was able to share more. So maybe we can take a page and be inspired by the good that people do, right?
Oh, yeah. And there was a very good song that Woody the Costa used to talk about it on Cayman Crosstalk. That's Cayman.
Yeah. When Mr. Dave put that together.
Yeah, that was his song, right?
That was his song, and we played here often on Radio Cayman because it's kind of what calypsos do, right? We can talk about historical things, we can talk about things that are current. It can be commentary on the politics, the society. It's interesting. I read a paper that he had done one time way back when, and talked about the origins of calypso music, the meanings behind it, what makes a song a calypso, and there's sometimes the double entendre, there's the ambiguity, there's the suggestiveness, and there's just sometimes the banter,
Yeah, he was a very brilliant man and a very good man. Very good man he was. It's sad to hear that. But I hope a lot of our singers can at least try to walk in direction, in his his follow him. I like to believe that we should follow legends like Mr. Dave Martin's.
Yeah, but I think as we go into the break, I like what you just shared, and that encouragement for artists, painters, sculptors, musicians. I think what is now being coined creatives. We put so many labels to things that we lose sight of what is important. But as you shared, maybe when we do something that it has actual meaning, that is going to be, very conscious to say recorded. You're going to put it down in a format that when it's referenced, the meaning, the impetus for it, and the impact. Calypso song, for instance, is, I like Sparrow. I like Sparrow because it tells a story. Some of his stuff might be not necessarily for a child's consumption, but Mr. Dave Martin's and then the Trade Wind songs likewise has a message, right? So very important.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And it's need, as you shared, to be conscious. And sadly, some of the junk that is produced today, from manufacturing to music, really have to speak to the mindset of many. But anyway,
and that is good historical content too, as well.
Yeah.
And songs,
Yeah. All right, we're going to break. I don't want you to feel bad. I don't want you to feel disrespected. Anything else you want to share, or we just take the break and we talk again?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Appreciate that, man.
All right.
That was a good guy. Thank you. All right, let's do that. When we come back, who's going to call? It's not like the country song who's going to fill their shoes, but sometimes we got to be willing to step up to the plate. Give us a shout and share with us after.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Hey, Mom and Dad. School is nearly back in session. Is your child ready for the school year? Stop by Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village and pick up all your child's stationery supplies. You won't need to break the bank to get your little one prepared for the school year. You have enough to worry about. Make back to school a breeze with Savannah Pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, or call 946-3336. Savannah Pharmacy supports your education in our small community. That's why the first 20 customers will receive a free fully stocked school bag. Savannah Pharmacy. We love our community.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube.
Download
our official Radio Cayman app. or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. So open line until 1 o'clock, and then after, our friends from Rotary will come in and share a bit with us. Toll free with the compliments of flow if you want to call 1-800-534-8255, or you can WhatsApp call 925-32621, or you can also dial us on 949-8037 or 949-6990. To the last two callers prior, the notion that within the country, maybe an opportune time, as some have alluded to, as we are, maybe months away from the general elections, conversations to be had, decisions to be made. Let's take this next call. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Sterling, how you doing?
Excellent. How about yourself?
Good afternoon to you. I'm doing pretty good. I don't have any time anymore to complain about things because, it's too stressful. I was listening to your show this morning, and Dave McFeel is so right in everything he says. That man should be on top of the world in this country. But you know what? It's just the way it is, and it's really, really sad, to see what is happening in this country. Dwayne, quick question: how many elected officials we have there?
In the country now, 19. You mean of the ones that we elect? 19.
Yeah, 19.
Okay. Yeah.
You have any idea where they are?
Right this minute, let me call my brother, see if he knows. Kind of early.
Because it's really bad, and because it seems like the guy there from the BRAC, what's his name? Oh God. He comes on the radio quite often. How could I forget his name?
You mean the calls?
Yeah. No, one of the members of the legislature, Kenneth.
Okay, yeah. But he's not from the BRAC, right?
He sounds like he's the only one that can find a little bit of time to come on the talk show and let the people know or give them some idea, what is happening in the country. I really don't know what is happening in this country, Dwayne, but something needs to change. And, you say we got 19 official elected members, and you can't hear nothing from them. What are they doing? We know that they're doing nothing, so the least they can do is come on to the radio and say, look, we're doing nothing, right? Just to confirm what we're saying, because I don't see, and the majority of the Caymanian people don't see anything that they're doing, and that this country is going to hell as fast as it can go. It's so frustrating.
I
see what is happening.
Yeah. I honestly hear you, but let me then ask, given that there's going to be, God's within another general election and people are going to be duly elected, and let's go on the premise that it's going to be a free and fair election. So with that in mind, what would you want the elected members to be doing? Okay. And the reason why I ask that is that if you listen to the caller, it is very evident that many people are feeling, the frustration, the pinch, as they say, right? From the concerns about crime and immigration, the issues of the cost of living, the growing challenges that people are seemingly sharing, that they're having getting their children into school. Now, increasingly, whether it's a primary school or the high school, people are saying, they can't get their child into school because there's no space. And not that there is no space because there are a lot of people, but there are people from other jurisdictions who are not from here who get into the government schools, and they, in this place in the Cayman Child. Let's go back to the caller. Welcome back, sir.
Yeah, sorry about that, Dwayne. I've missed.
It happens, man. That's. Thanks for calling us back. That happens.
Cut myself, so also I apologize for that.
Well, yes, sir.
Yeah. You were saying I didn't really catch what you were saying, so I don't know if you can just brief me real quick.
Right.
On what you were commenting.
Yeah. I was sharing that as you were expressing yourself, it's very evident that is indicative of what other people are feeling. The challenges relative to immigration, crime, the cost of living, the notion that in the country we seem to be not just playing catch up, but being marginalized, displaced, sort of rejected and discarded. And so how do we address it so that we keep the country in that positive, unified space if we're not there? So I wanted to ask you, I was asking you, given that there's going to be a general election and people are going to get elected, what do we want the elected to be doing? Those MLAs, MPs now as we call them, what do we want them to be doing?
Sterling, when they are out campaigning, right, they give us everything that we want until they get elected within reason, right? They got their manifesto, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have two, one for them and one for the idiots like us out here, right? So when the idiots now elect them, they take the one that they have for us and they tear that off. They said, I don't need this anymore. They done did what they had to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to use his agenda now to do whatever he wants to do, and it's something that is the impression that people are getting. So don't come to me and say, well, election is coming up soon. Yes, if they're not good, you get rid of them, right? Okay, it's easy to say that, but what are we going to get when we get rid of them? You get another group of elected officials, and then they'll promise you everything under the sun, which they can't give you. And as soon as they get in, they do the same thing. This has been going on now for the last 40 years, Dwayne. I mean, how stupid are we to keep believing in them and trusting in them? And now, I mean, a certain amount of these people can't even come on the talk show, getting this very hefty, nice salary, and they can't come on to the talk show. They don't even have the respect for the Caymanian people and say, look, this is what we're not doing, this is what we're not doing, and this is what we're not doing, right? I would prefer they came on and tell us what they're doing, but I don't see anything they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So how am I, as a Caymanian, supposed to feel? And what I'm seeing every day in this country is that we're going to H, and it's like nobody cares. Does these elected officials have kids? What they think that, it's not going to affect them someday down the road? I mean, they are so blind. Why are they so blind? Right? And I don't know.
Yeah, as you're sharing, right? And you're talking, this, as you said, the last 40 years, so we electing either the same people or the people with the same mindset. By inference, right? By inference, are you now suggesting that we now need to elect a different mindset, a different approach?
Sterling, how do I answer that?
Straight up.
Nobody is born a politician. Nobody is born a lawyer. Nobody is born a CEO or whatever you want to call it, a medical whatever.
Right.
Nobody is born with those kind of tools, right? You have to earn that, right? And tell me, why are we having people that haven't earned any of these two things to come and elect us and run this country? They can't even run their own household, Sterling. How they can run a country?
Yeah. But we've heard. I mean, you are right, but you've heard from many who have got elected that there is a learning curve. They may have come from private sector, the head of an organization, their own businesses or whatever. But when they get elected, it's a different animal that they're dealing with, not just the public sector and the public service, but the process. So to your point, nobody's born those things. They have to learn it as they go. The elected person also has to learn the ropes as well, right?
Exactly, a good point, Sterling. But the thing is, I mean, I always say, and I will always maintain, if you want people to run the country, you have to get ex-civil servants or whatever the case may be, somebody that knows how a country is run on a day-to-day basis and what they need to do 10 years or 5 years or 15 years in advance. They need to be able to see that far ahead of them.
Right.
Not just looking down in the front of you and looking at your shoes. No, they need to be able to see miles and miles away and years ahead in order to become these people. And I think the civil servants is probably the most qualified people. Some of the civil servants, right, are some of the most qualified people in order to run a country because they know the day-to-day operation, how things are done. I mean, you take me and you put me in there. I mean, you know what I'm probably going to do? If they're stupid enough to elect me, you know what I'm stupid enough to do? I got to tell them, I say, look, the best I can work on, my qualifications is I can work on vehicles. You got any vehicles here for me to work on? Why would they want to do that and put me in there? No, I have no clue. But it's all on personality, who you are, and who likes you from who don't like you. Oh, this person is a nice person. We got to elect him. We cannot do that anymore, Sterling. That needs to stop. We need to get people that knows how to run a country, right? Not just a nice person. And if we continue down this path, the things that is happening in this country that are being neglected on a day-to-day basis, in 5 years from now, you think Caymanians got own or run anything in this country? Then are we going to say enough is enough and try to take this country back?
Yes, sir. Hello? All right. Respectfully, sir. We have the news. Certainly interject that now when we come back for the next half hour, and then 1:30 onwards we'll have and be able to resume some open line.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Dwayne Ebanks. The Health Services Authority issued a brief statement on Friday following the arrest of an HSA employee. The hospital says they are aware of a recent media report regarding the arrest of a staff member. They are taking this matter seriously and are conducting an internal investigation in conjunction with the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. With the investigation still ongoing, they say no further information will be provided at this time. In regional news, in Jamaica, Energy Minister Darrell Vaz expressed concern about an unusual and major strike in electricity bills received by Jamaica Public Service, JPS customers during the current billing cycle. In a media release, Vaz announced that he will be formally writing to the Office of Utilities Regulation on Monday, urging an investigation into multiple complaints. He also demanded an explanation from the JPS regarding the increase. Vaz emphasized the need for fair treatment of JPS customers and highlighted the opportunity to address long-standing bill cycle issues. Additionally, he received reports that JPS customers who experienced prolonged power outages due to Hurricane Beryl are now facing significant bill increases. The ORU, as the authorized regulatory body, should promptly assist in ensuring just treatment for Jamaican citizens, says the minister. In Trinidad, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley announced that a national consultation on constitutional reform will take place in October this year, dismissing opposition suggestion of an early election in Trinidad and Tobago. During a special convention of the ruling People's National Movement on Sunday night, Rowley also revealed plans to replace the 3 ships of Christopher Columbus on Trinidad and Tobago's coat of arms with a national instrument, the steel pan. The change is expected to be finalized before Republic Day on the 24th of September, with a 6-month transition period for adjustments to stationery and other official materials. Rowley emphasized the need for unity among parliamentary colleagues and those with political aspirations. His remarks were in response to opposition leader Kamala Prasad Basu's assertion that constitutional reform is a political ploy by the ruling party. The opposition leader criticized the reform effort, calling it a propaganda tactic and questioning the qualifications of the committee involved. That is your latest local headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
The Health Services Authority has over 120 world-class physicians offering the most comprehensive range of specialist services on island. Our dedicated team of professionals provide the highest quality care in orthopedics, interventional radiology, women's health, geriatrics, and a host of other specialist areas. We are a JCI accredited organization with a proven record of excellence. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
The sister islands of Cayman Brac and Little Cayman have long held a sense of independence and self-reliance while still maintaining a close relationship with Grand Cayman. Cayman Brac is named for its breathtaking 140-foot bluff, and Little Cayman is known for its tranquil nature and is home to the largest colony of red-footed boobies. Notable historical developments for the sister islands include being the first of the Cayman Islands to be seen by the Europeans, developing their own economy in the 1800s based on the sea and hawksbill turtle, building the prototype catboat, active entrepreneurs on Grand Cayman through the 20th century, and a strong support for the British, with half of the men serving in the British cause during World War II, and ardent supporters of a British link during the discussion on independence in 1962.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. It's always good sometimes when you sit around the table and you see people who give tirelessly, and they recognize that the contribution has been almost, at times, thankless, but it's a perseverance, the persistence that cause people to appreciate how much together we can make things happen. So it's good to see collective efforts in unison. Mr. David Kirkcaldy, welcome. I know you were no stranger to the arena. Oh, sorry, to the studio. How are you, man?
Fantastic. Thanks so much for having us.
Always a pleasure. And I think when we can, whether through our schools, the PTAs, or our churches and the youth groups, or our service clubs and like, join hands and hearts and collectively make a meaningful impact in our society, we see the strength. Those who do the analysis will recognize that that sort of contribution means that it's less that a government has to provide through budgeting, transfer payments and the like. But I don't think since we quantify what that does for the community, when you see your neighbors picking up, on a weekend, doing something that makes the roadsides, safer, more beautiful, or when you volunteer. So service, I think, is in us. We just have to make it about self.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm here representing Rotary in general. I'm the immediate past district governor of Rotary District 7020. And I think you really touched on a wonderful thing that I saw, not just in the Cayman Islands, but as I traveled around our district last year. And that is the fact that so much good is done by people within the community. And here in the Cayman Islands, we have over 250 Rotarians across 5 clubs, 4 in the Cayman Islands, including the one sponsoring this broadcast this afternoon. The Sunset Rotary Club, the newest Rotary Club in the Cayman Islands, one of the newest in the Caribbean. And these folks do the work in that last mile, I guess you would say, the folks that need immediate assistance or the folks that are not touched by the assistance that governments and other organizations would typically have eyesight on. So it's a valuable contribution to the community that Rotary has been making for over 60 years now. And I'm so glad that you've allowed us the opportunity to talk about what we know is a wonderful thing. And in this membership month that we're celebrating this month within Rotary International, to talk about what we do and hopefully have a few of your listeners see this as something they might want to join and be a part of, because it's great service, but it's also great fellowship and great fun as well.
That's the thing. There's a camaraderie, a fellowship that we don't always appreciate. One of the things that sitting here, the host, I remember a fishing tournament where Rotary and Lions partnered.
Sure.
And that camaraderie of two, for whatever better way, competing clubs in terms of members come together to do something to benefit the community.
Mm-hmm.
It just spans. As we go to around the table and to Mr. Clayton next, David, to you, how long have you been in Rotary?
Oh, goodness. They've got books in the library that are not much older than I am in Rotary now, but this is going to be my 29th year in Rotary, and it's been...
That's few many years?
Yeah. And believe it or not, I'm only 30, right? No, but it's been a really interesting journey. I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Grand Cayman. That was the first Rotary Club here in the Cayman Islands, out of which the others have been sponsored. But we do all work together. And as you mentioned, we work together with the other service clubs. One of the things that Rotary International and the heads of the other service clubs do in every year is they have a meeting with Kiwanis, with Lions, with the Optimists, and the presidents of each of those organizations get together every year to talk about the projects they're doing, the big overarching themes, and to encourage our respective members to work together. Because we're all in the same business of providing service into the community. We just do it through different avenues of that service.
And that's good to see that in this space. But welcome, Ms. Claire. How are you? A brief intro for the one or two. I think we polled it. I think it's 4 people that didn't know you, but
right. Okay. David knew me.
See, okay, down to 3.
Yes, I'm Clayton Price. I've been a member of the Rotary Club of Grand Cayman since 2014. I would say what drew me to the club was I had been the former chairman of the Insurance Managers Association of Cayman, and when my time was up with that, I felt I had some time to do something more rewarding in regards to giving back to the community, but also, you said earlier, fellowship. Yeah. That is such a cornerstone of Rotary. The fellowship that we have within the membership of all the clubs, but also within our own club, is just absolutely fabulous. When I look at our membership, it basically covers the fabric of Cayman from the perspective of not only where people are from, their international backgrounds, but also the foundation of the club is such a strong Caymanian influence. And so to me, that was great because I must admit, in the international business sector, we tend to be isolated from the Caymanian population. And that was such a great opportunity to get to know my fellow Caymanians so much better. And that to me was just an absolutely fantastic thing. The other thing is just how much the club gives back to the community. So, for instance, this past year, for the club year from July 1 of 2023 to currently, over $270,000 has been raised by the club members, which has been redistributed into the community, essentially to 22 local charities, 5 international ones. I'm not going to tell you each and every one of them. I'll probably take up our whole time this afternoon, but to give you a sampling, Jubilati has been a great fundraiser. Scholarships to UCCI, the hand wash program. You'll now see water stations popping up around the island for fresh water. The Francis Bodden Home, Jasmine, the Cayman Echo Reef Divers Foundation, as well as the Humane Society and the YMCWA. Fair Weather Apprentice Program. That's a really interesting one where the fellow came and spoke to us about building boats the old-fashioned way. So that's going to be really interesting to watch and see how that continues to move forward. And then just seeing what some of the local members do, such as our past president, Derek Haynes. He's always doing something for the community. And the most recent one is for Meals on Wheels, where he's raised from what I've seen, it's already $12,000, and he just keeps on going. He's like the Energizer Bunny. So he's absolutely great that way. As far as some of the international programs, the Guatemala Literacy Project, the Cubs always been a firm supporter of, as well as the polio, as far as supporting funds towards polio and finding a cure for that. I would like to also say that, Rotarians, they devote a lot of their personal time and energy to the fundraising activities. You look at the haunted house down at the Field of Dreams. That's like a 3 or 4 day event now. A lot of energy goes into helping supporting that, and the funds that are raised from it, we're the beneficiary of some of it. That gets redistributed to some great causes. We've always been a long-time supporter of the Seniors Christmas event on Boxing Day, as well as, the Christmas tree at Hero Square. That's always a great event as well. As I say, I could go on, but the fact that we give so much, actually donation of time, whether it's doing painting at the Francis Baden Home, or building a tree house for Jasmine, those are just some of the examples. And I'd be remiss to not even mention about one of our fundraisings this past year was help benefit the launching of our newest Rotary Club, being our colleagues here from the Sunset Club of Rotary Club of Cayman. So we're glad to have a different focus in regards to what each club does on the island. And as I said, the great thing is 100% of the funds raised goes back into the community. It goes back to charity. What the club resides on in regards to its own funding is from the membership it charges for dues for its members. But otherwise, all funds raised are 100%. There's no overhead. We don't have employees. So that's a fabulous statement. And with that, what I'd like to say is, I'm just proud to be a member of the Rotary Club of Grand Cayman and part of Rotary International for that matter, but also to say to be a Rotarian means those people, they have goodness in their hearts.
That's right. And that is, I think, what inspires many. And as I look around and knowing you somewhat, either from a distance, how do you find time? That's something that people always ask about. I don't have time for this. And genuine, they probably don't. But you and your members carve out, you make time. Mm-hmm. It's called everyone. I have to say that.
Just before Shayana speaks, because we're here together as a team, of course, from Rotary Sunset, and of course, just for our listening audience, I'd like to say good afternoon once again on behalf of Rotary Sunset specifically. I'm here in the capacity as president. And so recently taken over the helm from our audacious immediate past president and first president Monica Ramjeet. So the club is just over a year old, and I'd like to thank the gentleman opposite for both their sponsorship of our club, as well as the fact that they have explained already what Rotary is and what Rotary does, which makes our job a lot easier today. Because my principal purpose here today, of course, is in coordination with the Rotary International theme for this month, which is membership, essentially. And we are, of course, trying to grow our young club. We have a unique position among the 5 Rotary clubs in Cayman, insofar as we have a structure which enables us to introduce or to include corporate membership, which of course is a whole new dynamic for Rotary, and allows us to facilitate corporate members, therefore decreasing the amount of time that each member has to dedicate to Rotary, but gives them an opportunity to give back to the community. It allows corporate members to improve their profile in the community in terms of the fact that they are openly contributing via the Rotary programs to their community, and also improving life on a whole in the community, making it a more attractive place to be, to spend, to operate, etc. At the same time, corporate members allow us to increase our membership, increase the dynamic that exists within our membership, increase the persons available to provide services, the services that these gentlemen have so aptly described, and there are many, many more, of course. So it is something that is very important to us as a club and as an organization, and something that we want to definitely promote. So I broke in just before Shanna was about to speak, so I'd like to give her...
introduce your colleague, or shall we allow her?
No, but it's a great segue into becoming a member. I'm probably one of the newer Rotary members. I'm about 4 months in right now. I was actually asked to join. as you know, I've been heavily involved in a lot of things in my past 19 years on island. And as you know, Miss Martin, Miss Marie Martin, there's a lot of things we did kind of in the background, especially through COVID, helping our youth do specific things, get them into college, help them with that transition. So there are things that we were doing kind of behind the scenes, and it was really tough because it was just us. She's like, hey, I have an avenue that we can do these same things, but it's going to be a lot easier. We'll have a team of people. We'll do all these things. So I was immediately sold at that point. As a single mom, it was very important for me, especially my oldest is 18, off to college, very important for me to show my children what it is about to give back. I was raised that way. My parents are volunteer firefighters, EMT back in the States, and I grew up with that. My grandparents were missionaries to Haiti through our church. So growing up with that passion of giving back, it just becomes a part of life. So when you ask the question about how do you find time, there's no TV. There's no going out to movies, because I think that is where we shortchange our children when we don't get them involved in the people around. I had this one saying I kept telling Miss Martin many years ago. She's like, "Why do you do it? Why do you give back?" And I said, "These are the kids that my children are going to be raised with. They could potentially marry one of them. Why wouldn't I want them to have every opportunity to be a great citizen?" So for me, that was a reason. There is one project that we've been talking about for many years, and I came into Rotary with the hopes that we would be able to grow and develop that, and that is getting a lot of our students that are coming out of the schools who don't have the parent knowledge or the expertise to know how to fill out a college application or to get an F1 visa or to even afford to fly over to Jamaica to get their visa. So we've been stepping up kind of in that avenue, going, okay, where can we fill in that gap? And it's just knowledge sometimes. It's just sitting down and helping them fill out a form that they don't have that support. So that was my project. I kind of am bringing to Rotary to find a way to bridge that gap.
I'm glad you referenced that, because hopefully you'll allow me to sort of be part of this. This is where great minds think alike. I think it's a great new reference to earlier. The collection of people who are in Rotary, as we talk and focus on Rotary, come from all facets of life and in their own sort of industries or circles.
And I must admit, if you looked at Rotary probably 50, 60 years ago, the mandate from a membership perspective was to have the leader from the accountancy practice or the leader from the legal practice or the leader from whatever. And we've kind of modified that. We updated our bylaws to reflect the fact that you don't need that anymore. What you want is good people who are willing to give back, and that's so important.
Integration, the acclimation, the assimilation, a word that unfortunately has been, like so many recently, become almost a cliche. But inclusion, you want it to represent your community.
Right.
And I think, Shannon, from what you shared, that completion of a form, whatever that form is, if you're applying for a visa to some country, the Schengen visa, the US visa, whether you're in Cayman or Trinidad, sometimes you just need a little extra help. The parent might know, but the parent may have a friend in the service club that knows.
Yeah.
This is where we come together, Patrick.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Dwayne, thank you for that. Shanna, speaking specifically about our project, Earn and Learn, which falls within the auspices of Director Marie Martin, who is our vocational service and youth service director. And it's been growing from strength to strength, as Shanna was pointing to. And we hope to continue to raise funds and get persons, new members in particular, involved in that particular program, because it is one that is ultimately beneficial, not just for the immediate beneficiaries, so to speak, the actual persons who are involved in the program, but also for the community at large. And so it has a lot of spill-off effects.
If I might ask, because the idea of time, my father always says, no matter your wealth, you can't buy a second. We seem to prioritize that thing, make time for that thing that's important to us. I like chocolate, I can make time for it. Like a few other things. But we make time. But each of you are busy in your individual, your personal, your professional lives, and yet you make time. And because you're here, David, you start out, an ordinary member, first day, and then over time, you become the.
Yeah, that's one of the spin-off benefits as well, as sort of a unadvertised or less recognized features. You'll have people come in, their great fare in life is public speaking, for example, or they are in an occupation that they don't have to participate in a board meeting and these sorts of things. Participating in Rotary allows you opportunity in a safe space to sort of dip your toes in some of these things, and you find that you grow professionally, not just from the contacts that you make, but because of the experiences that you
get to develop.
You develop.
Yes.
Yeah. These are important experiences to learn in the professional world, but you can also gain them through your service in Rotary, or even at a younger age through Rotaract, by participating in a club forum like this that needs a president. The constitution of the clubs all have a president, they have a board, they have directors, and those people have to meet. And so you gain that experience of that. I think there's so many benefits. You talk about time. I don't know who said the quote, but it is something that I've found to be true. If you want something done, give it to a busy person, because they'll figure out how to get it done.
That's where they're busy.
It's the same within Rotary. And Shannon sort of touched on a really important thing too that I think is worth highlighting to anybody that's listening that's like, well, I don't really see myself in Rotary, but they are perhaps involved in something like she and Miss Martin were doing on the side, helping some folks with challenges that they had with educational side of things. They joined a Rotary Club that would support them in that endeavor. If you've got a passion for service and you are doing that right now, there is a place for you in one of the Rotary clubs here in the Cayman Islands, including Cayman Brac. Bring the thing that you are passionate about to the club that meets at the day or the time that works best for you. The folks that are here in the room today, I meet at lunch. Our club meets at lunch. Their club meets in the evening time. There are breakfast clubs. There's dinner clubs. There's a time for everybody. And the cool thing about joining a Rotary Club is you can go and do a makeup meeting at one of the other clubs. So you expand your network beyond just that club.
But as I recall, you're actually encouraged for the points from
absolutely.
But
it's a good thing. And I think bringing that passion for service that you may have and something that you're doing, and it's just you or a couple of friends that are doing, if you bring that into the format of or joining a Rotary Club, and instead of and having that club support you on that, you will see that go from strength to strength.
Absolutely.
And Clayton, to you, when you talked about being in your sector, that insurance, the reinsurance sector, the importance of it within the Cayman community in terms of employment, but the contribution you can get. I don't want to say isolated or insular relative to your clientele. And not within.
But actually, it takes that core and expands that core. As I was saying, probably within the Insurance Managers Association of Cayman, of course, that's got a lot of international people, a lot of accountants, people that come in from overseas to fill the positions due to the needs. But you're talking about 400 odd people within the Cayman Islands, within that small little sector. So you get to know all those people pretty well. But to me, what was important was to go beyond that. And it's been so rewarding, as I said, with Rotary has so many Caymanians that are involved, and the history is steeped. I mean, it's absolutely terrific. That, to me, was so rewarding on a personal basis, was to get to know more people with the history of the island.
It builds community. And Patrick, to you, Cheyenne, the whole idea of, that's what David was sharing, that passion. I think Miss Marie, education, literacy go hand in hand and behind the scenes, but a collective effort. One person can accomplish a lot.
I was amazed because when the first instance of being a new member, I came in and everybody listened to your idea. And we found that there were other pieces of the same thing happening, and then we can kind of just bring them all into one, and it streamlines things. I might not be the best marketing person to put a flyer out there to do, to do a big announcements, but we may have somebody in the club who's going to do that. We might not have a connection into the Department of Education or, somebody who knows our at-risk youth. we now have somebody in our club who knows that and knows how to get to those youth. So being able to collectively come in. And the last thing I want to say, kind of for me, through the last possible hurricane coming at us, it was amazing to me to see that here as a single mom, no family on island, a few friends, the family of Rotary, they were there. If you needed them for something, there was somebody who could step up and help. And that to me is more than that. That means more than anything else. As a family, they really do treat you that way.
And that's, I think, Patrick, where the community comes in.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's a good way to point out, as immediate past district governor David was saying, that we are. It gives you an opportunity to express your passions and to pursue your passions in terms of community service. But at the same time, because, as you said, we represent in many ways a microcosm of the community, because Rotary in and of itself, internationally and in particular in Cayman, is very diverse. We draw from area of our community, and as a result, we're able to bring all these different skill sets to bear on the ideas that formulate the actual services that we give back to the community.
Yeah. But yes, I'm hoping that not just during this month, but you and other members will come on and remind us of the importance of working together. As we,
if you let us come.
and here, check this out. Come at no cost.
I love it.
Except your time, because this is important. This is where we come together. Mindful of the time. And
can I throw off one last little thing?
Go right ahead.
We have a project that we are working on. It's called the Earn and Learn program. Through that program, what we do as Rotary, we raise money, and say there's a small business who can't afford to hire someone, and we have a young person who is looking for a job but doesn't know what they want to do. We have the avenue to hook those children up with an employer, and Rotary pays their salary during the time that they're learning how to do a specific job.
Within reason.
Within reason. Yes, but what that does is it gives these young students the ability to go into, say, the hospital and see what's going on and get their feet wet. And that is one thing that the last raffle that we did went not solely to that project, but that project alone. And what we're seeing coming out of that is just amazing. Yeah. People will end up hiring these students and these people into their companies because we have found them a match.
And we've seen how the landscape here has changed so significantly. Yeah. I commend you on that. I know Jenna reached out to us, so hopefully we can talk about that more. Yeah. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for making time to share with us. And
yeah, thank you so much for having us on. I don't know if you want to repeat your club website or just to help folks find out more about you.
Certainly, as a point of thank you for that, David. Just a quick point of
reference. Good hosting, man.
Rotary Sunset meets every other Wednesday, starting with the second Wednesday of the month and ending with the fourth Wednesday of the month at 6:30 at the bonfire at the Locale Hotel. And you can find us online as well. We have a Facebook page, Rotary Sunset Cayman are the keywords to use. Please look us up, reach out to any person that you might know to be a member, or just reach out to us online via our Facebook page, and we'll be more than happy to invite you along to a meeting and to just get a feel for what the club is all about and how to participate and become a member.
I mean, Hans would say make light work. So
absolutely.
I see smiling faces who have made the time. Thanks very much for coming in, and hopefully we'll see how that translates into a stronger, healthier, more unified community. Very, very appreciative.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, after the break, join us and give Miss Susan a call on 1-800-534-TALK.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Refer a friend and get $50 to spend when your friend or family member opens a personal account with Cayman National. From July 9th to September 30th, 2024, C&B customers can earn $50 for each referral who opens an individual or joint personal account. Earn up to $500 with a maximum of 10 referrals. Visit CaymanNational.com for more details on this promotion and follow us on social media for updates. Terms and conditions apply.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
There can only be one. Get ready for the thrilling finale of the 2024 Siwa National Tour. The fourth and final race kicks off at 11:30 a.m. Sunday, August 25th at Collier's Public Beach in East End. Watch division leaders Nathan McLean, Joshua Watler, Brandon Elliott, and Rennie Ortega battle to claim their season championship. There can only be one leader of the pack. The 2024 Siwa Tour is sponsored by Car City, Cayman Islands Coast Guard, Cayman Islands Fire Service, Pepsi, Fast Signs, JNM Equipment, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage, Party Animals, Seabreeze Charters and Jet Ski Rentals, Verdant Isle Farms, Health City, Cayman Islands, National Logistics, Onshore IT, Ministry of Tourism and Ports, Radio Cayman, and Breeze FM. The 2024 Siwa Final, 11:30 a.m. Sunday, August 25th at Collier's Public Beach in East End. Champions are founded upon the seas.
For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. is brought to you by Cayman Medical Center, Cayman's most awarded private medical clinic, located in the heart of Georgetown. Visit their website at medical.ky or call 623-1000.
The rich flavors of Italy just arrived at Subway. Say ciao to the Italianos. Our 3 new Subway series recipes, carefully crafted with an Italian flair. Try the Hot Shot Italiano for an enticing and zesty touch. The tastier than ever Ultimate BMT, generously stuffed with a mix of ham, pepperoni, and salami. Or go all in with a creamy chicken bacon Alfredo. New Subway series Italianos. Chef-crafted greatness in every bite. Elevate your game only at Subway. Delizioso.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. It is Open Line, and to our good friends, across our communities in the various service clubs and in Rotary in particular, for giving of themselves and their time. Many of us do so in many facets, and if you look at our colleagues over in the youth services unit in particular, as they focus on not just empowering and educating, informing, and ensuring that the younger people are nurtured. We want to share with you 949-8037, 949-6990, or you can WhatsApp call 925-32621 and share with us. To the gentleman that called just prior to our news, he always makes good points, and as he was sharing, he said, listen, I'm paraphrasing and drawing inference from much of what he said. It's frustrating. Here you see a country that is poised for great things, built on a heritage of greatness, people with great resolve and resilience, and you only have to look every day to see that. But as the 11th of September rolls around, it'll be 20 years since Hurricane Ivan and the devastating impact that they had on the physical landscape, you saw just an immediate response from people who were well prepared, who probably, for the most part, did not quite expect the level of devastation, but rebounded immediately, and not just rebuilt, but did it in a way that just shows how welcoming. Now, much may have transpired since then, and much may have happened just prior that may have been more of a negative consequence. But where we are today, and what are we doing? I say that to ask, following this morning's discussion with Dr. Steve, and for the record, some of you have shared, where is Cayman? We have a government, like many, wanting to do the very best, and as we get closer to election, positioning themselves for re-election, for those who will seek a seat, whether as looking for another term, for those who may want to return to their prior, or for those who may have been trying and trying, for those who may be trying the first time. That's the semblance of a healthy democracy. But is there a sufficient sort of united front in making the country move in a very positive way? And how do we achieve that? How do we look at what's happening around the world? If we take an example from the UK, or recognizing its great diplomacy to date, its great seafaring heritage as a strong, maritime society, one whose navy has commanded the seas, for centuries. Do we see in there, from their politics, their social discussions, things that may be similar to what's happening here, and also in other parts of the world where, to some extent, citizens are also asking similar questions? So what are we doing? 949-837, 949-6990. You can WhatsApp call 925-32621. Let's take this call. Hey, welcome on the WhatsApp. Let's go to the phones. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, Dwayne.
Hey, how are you? How are you?
Well, thankful. A bit grieving though, because the sad news of losing Mr. Dave Martin.
Yes. That is
whom I knew very well. I've got a history of intellectual briefings. Learned a lot from him. Just a record. I was told by one of his band members that one time there was an open song contest when they were living in Canada. They spent several years in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was into the hundreds that actually, was contestants. And Dave, of course, he came first. So, just tells you some of the magnitude of his songwriting abilities. With all that, living in Canada, strange place in North America, all the coal and everything else, he never lost his Caribbean roots. He was always talking, and he was a true Caribbean man. If it was anyone, it was him.
And as we listen to you, we're reminded of how important it is to not just reflect on what people have done, but what that now impacts us, decades later. So yeah, I think many of us who interact with Mr. Dave and always enjoyed his banter and, as you said, his intellect, his wit. Hello, sir.
I said, where are our heroes, Caribbean? Show them to me.
What about, okay, let's do it from your perspective, right? Within the Caribbean region. You can choose a name if you wish, you don't have to, but are there people that stand out either from, decades past, but specifically now, alive now, that you would look to as heroes? I mean, you can say you don't have to name them, but just simply yes or no, do you see people?
You got some right in our society right now and still alive and well.
Mm-hmm. And what about in the Cayman context specifically? Are there people that you look to say, well, for one of a word just generalizing, they're heroes in your eyes?
Listen, if you have people like Dr. Steve,
Uh-huh.
Dr. Frank. You have them in any other societies within even the region. These people will be highly heralded, they will be highly looked upon and graced because of their achievements and what they have said. Culturally, socially, we are, see, you're not taught to actually seem to honor or respect.
Right.
These things are not taught in schools, and we have lost our way through all the shock development, much too quick, too quick, too fast.
Yeah.
So we're probably more North American than a real Yankee.
No,
if you
but
think about it.
I
Not that that's a bad thing in some
Yeah.
aspects, but we are still a Caribbean island.
Right. But I'm glad
And
you said
still-
that part, right? And many times it's almost, I mean, I'm glad you qualify it as disparaging, but, why do we do that, And why do we look at some parts of the Caribbean as if it's the be all and end all, when some of the things that we see here is a result of the negativity that has, been celebrated within our shores. Yes, sir?
Been spoon fed, and the influence of, like if you're not taught in schools, since you're going on that road, just look at this. You see people look down a lot upon these nationalities like Jamaicans, Filipinos, and all like that. But the hardcore realistic way of it is that if you drop these people anywhere in the world, they're going to survive. They have been prepared for the real world. And the real world is a difficult place. It's a jungle out there. And, you have to have certain, tutoring. You have to have certain schooling, teachings that as you grow into adulthood, you are more aware of the hardships that come in life. But because everything dropped in our lap over the last 50 years and so, we have taken it for granted.
But is that
time to last forever?
Yeah, but is that so?
And it's not so.
No, but is that so? Because I've heard that again, right? And again, we allow people to say things. It's like Dr. Steve said earlier. People disparage and say, "Oh, Caymanians are lazy." Now, are you calling me lazy? Because I look around my circle, I certainly not lazy. I know I work hard. I try to work smart, and I don't rest on my laurels. But to your point, those people go elsewhere. You drop them in, they'll succeed. The same with the Caymanian seafarer. The same with the people that I know. They go live, school, work elsewhere. The Caymanians succeed as well. So why are we allowing ourselves to be disparaged and disrespected in our own country?
Well, that's like, it's like you asking me to compound something that it's so much explanations to. Because of how we evolved. As I told you, it's like we've had life very easy here, and it's good.
But I don't think so. And again,
you don't think so?
No, I challenge you. I challenge you, right? Here's why I challenge you, right? We allow people to talk about, we have it so easy here. No, we don't have the civil unrest and the friction. We have the murdering, stealing, thieving, whether from the politician or the little culprit and skull in front on the ground, right? Our forefathers worked bloody hard to give us a better life, and yet instead of respecting, appreciating, and building on that, we let some no good, no use, smelly, pissy tail little runt come and talk crap here and run the people down. That can't stop, bro.
Oh, but hold on now. How did we arrive at that? Did you check the evolution?
You tell me, please.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do all along, but it seems like, I waited a long time to talk on this show, And, I hope I'm privileged to do so.
Oh, no, you're more than welcome. But see, because of your intellect is why I want us to ventilate the stuff that we're talking about under the mango tree. Let's do it publicly. Let's do it properly.
Well, I'm brave enough to do that, so,
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm engaging you.
Next move. What I'm saying to you is how we have evolved. I can give you many explanations that you don't have the time today to listen to.
No, go right ahead, man. You got the time. You got the time.
Understand? But what I am saying is, not that it was all bad, but you take the good with the bad, but many times the things that we should use as protective, going forward, protective elements going forward, it gets construed. We we get into this thing. I mean, you can look around you and see how we really have evolved over the last 50 years. It's been good, but many things we have developed along the way because, we've been culture shock, for one. I don't know if you can coincide with that.
When you say culture shock, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Man, I work with, listen, I work amongst tourism for many years, right?
Right,
And I've heard people that come here say a lot that they visit other jurisdictions that they can recognize the cultures in, but they don't. It's harder here because, again, how we evolved. Some of the first people they meet is they're talking with their foreign tongue on the front line. The last people they see like that, they don't hardly see. They can tell other places where people, by the way their culture is, what how they move, how they, how they talk. They're just the gist of them people, how they are. But here, it's not that recognizable to the point of, which is a good thing. We're multicultural and probably one of the few places that we can live in harmony. That's not what my point is about,
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Respectfully, we got a break. Would you kindly hold on so we can continue after the break? I didn't realize that we had pulled you down. Just hang on, please, and we'll get to you.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments August 15th to the 20th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited. Whether you're seeking advanced skin care, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Wayne Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com. That's drporterkman@gmail.com. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That's 946-9020.
The DVDL Customer Support Unit is now open. Customers can book appointments for written and driving tests through DVDL's hotline at 945-8344. That's 945-8344.
Attention shoppers, the anniversary sale at Tomlinson Furniture is here and hotter than the summer sun. If you're looking for new furniture or bedding, Tomlinson Furniture in the Mattress Gallery has you covered. Everything in stock is on sale. Special orders are 10% off. Now till August 31st, save up to 50% on selected items. Spin the wheel with each purchase. Everyone is a winner while supplies last. And enter to win our Jumbo Serta Sheep mascot or a Jumbo Beauty Rest turtle. Don't miss our 49th anniversary sale on now till August 31st at Tomlinson Furniture. Affordable, dependable, quality.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. And to the caller, thank you for hanging on. Welcome.
And I don't know if you should talk anymore down that road. I have something more important. That is where we started. Saying to me that is, it's like, like I once heard a popular movie star said, opinions are like rear ends. Everybody got one.
Yeah, but you are right, and this is where I think trying to manage to make sure that we promote, not just provoke, promote good discussion, evoke good conversation.
You got to find out the problems first, and then you try to fix them.
Right.
Discuss. Right. I never ever try to just bring something that seems to be negative or how it is, I would just try to say, make a suggestion
Right.
to see if, once I'm aware of the problem, now, most of the problems that we have socially cannot be solved individually. It needs to be collectively.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we are lacking. And again, I go back. History got way repeating itself. Is that we have evolved in that way where we really hadn't had to fight for anything too much. Like, if you think about it, we didn't really have much of a slave background, thing like a lot of other countries, and we haven't been terribly overpopulated. So the competition amongst us, you could leave one job today, go to the next one tomorrow. Those things has its bearings along the way,
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So this is how we didn't just wake up one morning and find ourselves in this position. It came through time, the way we evolved, right? Good and bad, but you have to take the two together and always try now to iron out to make it positive way. What I'm saying, these things that life learning should have been taught in school, a lot of people is leaving school with inferior complexes. I've heard it from stories from various, graduates. When I ask them certain things and they can hold their head down, in a first world country, I'm still trying to find out what makes us that. In third world countries, people come out educated, they come out with trades or whatever. Because those countries, they might be, economically depressed, but their people normally is their greatest assets.
Mm-hmm.
So they put a lot of interest and attention on them. So we could be learning from that, to try to get the best of both worlds there, But we won't be perfect, never will. But the way that I see Kimani traveling along the road, down that road, is that, you could say, it's destiny, prophecy. A lot of theories behind how, where we're going, how we're going. But I want to come to something, if you give me, maybe I'll try to wrap it up. You got a news break coming up again soon, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. Well, I waited 40 minutes the same day that you had people like Foreman and your former host there, Loxley Banks there. I was waiting like 40 minutes, so I said, whatever I have to wait, I guess. That's the virtue and truth.
Uh-huh.
You want to go to the news now?
No. I don't think she's ready yet. So go right ahead, man. Chat.
So you want to get rid of me kind of fast then?
No. I don't want you to think that at all.
What? You must know what I tell you.
No, but you're welcome to tell me.
Okay. I know you're a very intelligent guy and you can look around corners. So I want to say to you, Peter, I think it's Peter Thompson, if you don't mind me calling his name. You asked him a question like, when he said, he showed, like his kind of disgust and disappointment in the way our political, regime is, is really leading us. He showed discontent in that. And a lot of Caymanians is discontented like that. And politicians should never be able to please everybody. But what should remain is that they think of country first. So I'm going to put it to you. I tried to do this before with you and OC, and he kind of slanted on me a bit, just using commonality. When I ask you this, you can answer it if you want to or not.
Mm-hmm.
But it starts off, we have to get some form credence of accountability with our politicians. If not, we'll be changing players to play the same game. Now, everybody can go in with good intentions, say the road to hell is paved with them.
Mm-hmm.
But, it seems to me like I heard one old man say many, many years ago. He said, boy, what a situation we're in. You have vote for people so they can become rich or richer, and we become poorer. It's like that is in a lot of people's mind, because of things is not the way they used to be. Things have become a lot harder, and that's true. A lot of the elements outside the world, we're not living in a vacuum. We're anything. We're not exempt from any of the world things that you listen on the radio, you hear in news. We are well. Anything that happened outside the world can happen to Cayman. So we're a global village. We're not isolated like how we used to be. The island forgot. And the time forgot. No, What I would say to you, if you were a would-be politician prior to going in, this is my suggestion, that could form some form of credence of accountability. Everybody talks about accountability. Prior to going in to politics, before you throw your hat in the ring, put all your business interests. That has to be a mandate. That is mandatory. If you have a business or not, no conflict of interest during your tenure as a legislator, and that should come with some serious penalties and fines. Would you agree to that if you were throwing your hat in the ring?
I think, in all essence, we should ensure that we don't have any conflicts of interest. As you were sharing that, I'm thinking to what I gather is in the UK relative to their similar guidelines and their appointments, both the political and the elected, and trying to. But I think they say they leave it to members in their good, judgment to determine whether an act would be or perceived to be a conflict of interest, right? Are you considering creating something that I gather some jurisdictions have where you put your businesses in a blind trust? Is that what you're suggesting?
Blind trust. You put it where you cannot have day-to-day operations, because how can you serve two masters equally well?
Okay, good point.
I'm quite sure. Good point. Very good point. That comes from observation.
Right, but let me ask, in not being able to serve two masters, we have a present system where we elect somebody who is now elevated to cabinet, and in the cabinet position, that person is responsible constitutionally for certain portfolios, but also has to answer to a politically sort of divided constituency. Is that not the same as serving two masters then?
No, not from this point of view. Do you know the same person that you're voting for, that you elect to govern you, to administrate the country's affairs, lead us into the future? They can be competitive to you. They can be a competitor to you in business, and you don't even know it.
No,
you ever thought of that?
No, I hear that, right? But what I'm saying is that I think it's
but
similar.
There's commonalities we got to deal with.
No, but it is similar, because that person now is in a ministerial position, constitutionally responsible for certain things, but also accountable electorally to that constituency. So they're serving two masters.
As it is now, there is nothing that says they can't put investment in anything that got a dollar sign in it. Whether what side of the bench they're on. And I'm saying this is one of the problems. We need people dedicated and devoted and in charge, that we know where they at, what they're doing, what their job is, what their job description is.
Accountability and transparency. Yeah.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Listen, I know all about, if you take me down the road of the imperial way, winner takes all from the Westminster system that we serve. I know all of that. But what I'm saying is, if this is possible, this is one of the things but you won't get it unless the people of Cayman come together. Me and a few other people talking on the radio ain't gonna cut it. It takes effort. It takes people collectively to say, we stand for that.
Right. So as a voter, would you be willing to, as a voter, just like you ask of the elected member, as a voter, are you willing to consistently and constantly speak out, advocate, participate?
Well, again, when you have to understand, we have been a very passive people. And a lot of us hasn't really come out of that particular shade yet.
All right.
So, but then again, when you speak to certain people, if you ask them something, they will be in agreement with you. I just want to give you one quick wrap up.
Okay.
I was part of the organization that stood for the high gas petitions a few years back. We got nearly 15,000, I think it was, signatures. I myself garnered over 1,000 signatures. Carried them down on a wheelbarrow to the Legislative Assembly, where the politicians, the leaders, was waiting on us to receive this. It was 26 of us. When we were approaching them, I could just see written all of them. You mean you come to challenge us with 24 people? Well, someone was very vocal from our organization, and they went up to the minister who was in charge of that portfolio for the fuel, etc., and asked when something can be done about this. And his reply was, today, now we're going to start working on it. You know what was that we got out of that? Apparently, the fuel distributors had to post the prices of the fuel visible outside highly visibility. That was what was asked of them. Why? 24 people. But let that had been like 500 people, you'd have seen the difference. Today, we'd have been probably in a better position. So, all things considered, you know, we have to understand, you know, the Cayman type of you know, mythology, mentality and thinking. And so as well with tourism and everything else. But we are also being fried in our own fat. And I would say this to the Cayman people. It is high time that you get up collectively. Remember, we are the government. The people of the Cayman Islands is the government.
Thank you for that. We'll pause, go to the news, and come back. More open lines. Stay tuned.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Dwayne Ebanks. After losing the first two encounters to St. Vincent and the Grenadines 4-2 and Barbados 3-1, the Cayman Islands national under-14 boys team will go head-to-head with a young Antigua and Bermuda side today at 3 p.m. Cayman is in Tier 2 Group A of the CFU Under-14 Challenge Series being held in Trinidad and Tobago. In regional news, in Antigua, Prime Minister Gaston Brown has issued a stern warning to criminals who threaten police officers with legal force. His statement comes in the wake of a recent incident where a man was killed and two others were injured, one critically during a shootout between police and an alleged armed robber. Last Thursday, the police responded to reports of a bold armed robbery at a superette in the town of Param, during which two men reportedly stole EC $1,105. When the robbers were intercepted, they pointed a gun at police, resulting in an exchange of fire that led to the death of Jamar Smith, 26. Clinton Oliver, 31, sustained critical gunshot wounds, while Kuana Joseph, 18, suffered gunshot wounds and a fractured femur. While Prime Minister Brown does not endorse excessive force, he emphasizes the law enforcement officers must protect themselves. In Jamaica, a registered nurse has filed a lawsuit against a senior doctor and the University Hospital of the West Indies, stemming from events in May 2023. The lawsuit alleges assault and battery, breach of contract, negligence, and employer's liability. According to Radio Jamaica News, the hospital failed to follow disciplinary and grievance procedures and did not honor its agreement to reimburse the claimant for psychological care. The nurse suffered various injuries, including a torn ligament, beginning on May the 12th. She seeks damages, pre-judgment and post-judgment interest, cost, and other appropriate relief. That is your latest headlines. I'm Dwayne Ebanks.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
You can now renew your driver's license or motor vehicle license online, and you don't need an ESID number. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Visit www.dvdl.gov.ky.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, K-Man?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks very much for joining us. It is open line, and we'll take the caller on the WhatsApp. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Afternoon, Mr. Sterling.
Hey, how are you?
All right, so far.
Day getting better?
Yeah, I can't say it getting better. It just still just as good. But I honestly getting actually more excited through the day. So I tell you this. I hope I wasn't too aggressive this morning. Wasn't intending to hurt anybody's feelings. I do not. I don't have any hate for anyone.
I didn't think that there was any hate or malice. I think you just expressing yourself in a very impassioned way.
Yeah, no. I just making it clear because there's have some people that probably call me.
Yeah. Well, I respect that. I mean, you said earlier, if I speak with a bit of, passion and conscious to use certain things, people don't seem to know how to get it, together. But again, it's presentation, right? The language you use and the like,
We're like in a local form because I get tired of speaking kind of foreign and kind of weird. I can't understand, you can't understand, they can't understand. But then if we start talking like we were under that coconut tree, then it's kind of like a little understanding, a little bit.
But only to the audience that listen, right?
Yeah, just only a little bit. But anyways, right? I was thinking about one thing that I had saw this morning, where it was the docks and piers and some development that they want to do now with water sport in the front of ground. No, I don't know what made them think that was a good idea, but I read a part of the article that said docks and piers have traditionally not been approved in the main 7-mile strip, but there are no official policy on this, and the location of this Grand Hyatt close to the wharf, the restaurant at the southern end of the West Bay Road, is beyond the main beach. Can I ask you one question just as I came on you? How far did the 7-mile beach go? Where does it start and where does it end?
That's a good question. I mean, for us.
As I came on you.
Yeah, for us, right? We were looking, cemetery to cemetery, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just a little bit north and a little bit south of that, but generally speaking, that was how we saw it, right?
Yeah, I honestly, I said 7-mile beach was as long as you see sand.
Yeah. I think you're right. I mean, from where Captain Curtis is going way up to probably what was then the Almond Tree Lobster Pond, along that stretch. Yeah, Pageant Beach was certainly an area that was much celebrated.
Yep. And I think it should continuously be that way because the more these developments go on, the more private they become. And the more they deter the locals like me, myself, my daughter, my girl, or my friends, family, and anyone else that likes to go to that beach in particular, it's kind of hard to get to right now. Just because of certain little things, you can't go and park. It's kind of weird that you don't have to walk, and I don't know where you can park when you gotta go to that beach, but it's a very beautiful beach and it should be preserved. They tried to do something there before. I can see that clearly. The last storm that came, you can clearly see destruction every single time. That's on the high water mark. That should never be even thought about as a dock. At the moment, right now, where are they going? They should just go there and take another assessment and look at the life that has grown there since they destroyed it.
Yeah. Can I please allow me to ask, and whether you, but specifically, and as important, others, what is the view, and if you wish, what is your view when it gets close to an election, especially? Should the government of the day be allowed to do certain things, and we can probably specify them, that would have irreversible long-term national importance, right? And especially during election, but even in general. Let's take, for instance, the sale and or exchange swap of government lands in exchange for something. Should the government of the day be allowed to do that without public awareness and consultation and approval in some format? And if so, should they be able to do that within months of an election, right? Things of that nature, where that outgoing government, only on the premise that there's going to be another election and some or all may or may not be returned, following that next general election, should a government be able to do things of that nature, dredging of large scale, granting of massive sort of developments, disposing of public lands, irreversible things.
Yeah. You know, that just reminded me as well, a little discussion I was having with a friend, talking about the same exact thing with the dredging actually. And then a word just came out, you know, mining. Is it that it's a desire to mine for limestone on the island, that because if we could find a particular place that is protected because of a natural reserve, or it has its protection purposes for our island, you know, our island deserves its protection, and I'm not talking about artificially put a wall like Japan, but like hold our natural resources that we have are, you know, they're more valuable, they constantly grow versus digging and losing and running out of supply. You know, if that's what they are planning on doing, let's not go there. It's supposed to be under our you know, responsibility to protect our country regardless of who died and who didn't die. You know, because apparently coming in, and more that people dropping out, the more that we have it losing protection. I kid you not, I don't know what would happen if the Queen was still alive.
In what sense?
Because I mean, when we think about it now, what is Crown land, and was she protected from what I've never met the lady before, but it would have been a pleasure. But
indeed.
The fact that the fact that the fact of the matter is that regardless if we know somebody personally or not, we should respect at least what they cared for. I don't know if it was in her deep desire that when she passed on, that the whatever you want to do with your, because I know some people like that hearing came on, and look here, once their parents die, they do whatever they feel like with that land, regardless if it was farmland or not.
Yeah. Now, maybe I'm not exactly following you, but my limited understanding of it, you know, as a territory, you know, whoever occupies, you know, the seat of the monarch at the time still follows that, you know, established tradition of looking out for the, you know, the overall good governance, as it were, right? So, you know, the change from king to queen to queen to king is still one and the same in terms of the respect that's held for the position and the way the position is respectfully sort of administered, quote unquote. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just hope and pray that we don't just sell out. So I don't believe it's right, sir, that once we know that we have a issue on the island right now, and we just replacing these issues with football and Miami, and probably go to Europe for 1 or 2 times, see how it really feels. And you know, people not living like people on this island no more. I say we in a lazy-nated society, you know, because we're believed to be lazy people, and I hate to hear that. I mean, I don't hate. There's a thing I just don't like to hear when people say that Caymanians are lazy. Look here, I've been working for way too long now. Actually, if you ask me if I'm lazy, I have a right to be. Look here, since I was 12 years old, 13 years old, working in Foster's as a bygone, I never ever thought about stopping work. Stopping work was never in my thought. I can't say I'm a lazy person. But if I feel tired, you don't think a man deserve a break?
Well, the labor law, you know, provides for that in certain areas. I don't think, unfortunately, that we've allowed, you know, when things are said that are improper, incorrect, to be challenging. And it has now come back like many things, that kindness. As we take the break, anything quickly you want to share?
No, that's it. I just hope that people
keep the faith, bro. Keep the faith. Keep the head high. Yes, keep pressing on, pressing in, man. All right. Yep. Well, enjoy the afternoon. We'll pause and come back for the final moments. Stay tuned.
Summer's heating up, and so are the good times. Whether you are out on the water, enjoying the beach, or gathering with colleagues for an office bash. Make it a feast to remember with Subway. From assorted sandwich platters to mouth-watering cookies, our catering menu has something for everyone. Perfect for groups of 5 or more. For food that's fresh, fast, and perfect for any occasion, choose Subway Catering. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Start your day in the know. Don't miss a beat. Radio Cayman's 7 a.m. news keeps you informed every Monday through Saturday at 7 a.m. Brought to you by Cayman National, proudly serving the Cayman Islands since 1974.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway. Open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square.
Hey, welcome back. Thank you very much for joining us. It's 949-837, 949-6990. Or you can WhatsApp call 925-32621. I don't believe there's any calls in the queue just yet, so if you call, it'll be you. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. A quick read of some of the messages, and the last one in particular says, just for my benefit, not for, sort of read on air, but I could share. And the listener writes simply to say, with the pace, I'm going to paraphrase, hopefully I don't misquote, but say with the space and place and the pace at which we are developing, put some brackets, growing, expanding, close the brackets, is not just unsustainable, but in a way that is unmanageable. And we are not quite sure sometimes which way we're going. Things are not just in silos, but they're overlapping, and in that duplication, we may find that we have an oversight. The reader asks the question, with the numbers in our country, the pressures on the infrastructure, the demands of government, the reader sort of suggests that as a country, we don't see that the society is catering for a population in the millions as opposed to in the tens of thousands. Let's take this next call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
It's you again.
Yeah. All right. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I was trying to get on this morning, but it looked like your time seemed too quick.
Well, we thank those who are, trying, and we had a couple of callers who did say they were waiting, but we're glad that people are participating, and certainly apologize for not accommodating everybody, but so glad that people take the opportunity. So thanks very much.
Yeah, so true, and I couldn't agree more because, I guess from what I can hear and see, people are concerned like myself what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking, though, that, all I see coming out of it right now is just talk and more talk, and it's like just getting some steam release, and the engine getting overheated, you release the steam.
Just pull the vent for a little bit, huh?
Yeah. But at the end of the day, certainly when you look and see what's really taking place, and then you got some of these people that are in charge. They try to paint this beautiful picture, but what you see happening right now in the Cayman Islands, it is the authorities that are in charge, and it baffles me that you mean they can't see what's happening? Who can't see what's happening to this God-given little island? What's taking place? It's so crucial what's going on that they think that the more the merrier. And then we're talking about traffic.
Mm-hmm.
What do you expect? How much people can you really accommodate comfortable? Okay? It is an island somewhere off France. They're telling, regardless of where you come from, we have a certain amount of people that we can accommodate. If you want to go on the list, it's fine. If you don't want to go on the list, well, it's hard cheese,
Mm-hmm.
And we are in that situation right now. We don't have to take everything that wants to come here about cruise ships and all of this, congestion that we have, and you have a lot of disgruntled people that see what's going on this island, and nothing has been done or said about it. I don't want to sound too radical, but sometimes I wonder into my mind that if we are not under some kind of a dictatorship, because what I see they do as they see fit, and with no regard to of what the public have to say, they just go full force forward. And I think I mentioned it last week about the princes of privilege by where the Nakovia was. I mean, which donkey can't see what they have done there to really ruin people's suspension? If you want people to slow down, put a decent, something to slow you down across the road, whether it's a speed bump or whatever. But what they're going to, you got to be going like 5 or 10 miles an hour creeping, because those things are really hard on your suspension. And why in God's world do they have to be so sugar-coated because it's going to be up a couple of 10-story buildings there? What's wrong with these people? You know what? Unless the listening public decide that we're going to do something about it, and don't talk about a waste of time about election. We need so much, Sterling, to have district councils, oversight committees, right? Advisory councils, that when things like this come before us, we will have some say. It is no use us pounding our chest and saying, well, this is not right and that not right. This is just not going to be, it's not happening because, like I said again, the authorities that be, with me, what you see, what you get. And they should be able to see what's happening here in this island. Is it a lot of the oligarchs' money that's into this country that's flowing right, left, and center? What's going on? I have never seen as much money circulating in my life into the economy. From what I can see, everywhere you look is nothing but land clearing and buildings going up while your vegetation are asking for mercy. These ruthless, not developers, the investors, coming here and just tearing up literally everything you got. And nobody cares. Where is your government or the people in charge that should have public meetings? Don't talk about land, man. We know better than that. Why don't you have your representatives coming to our district and talk on one-to-one basis to the people and get some feedback? Okay? It's not so wonderful, Michael.
Yeah. But in all you shared, right, similarly as you are indicating for your first opening comment, we seem to create some things for one group, and the same thing isn't. If it's good for one, it doesn't seem to work for the other. But the West Bay Road, just as an example, if that thing makes the roads safer, if it reduces the speed, and it's a good thing, why is it not on Burstree Hill Road, Norris Point Road, up in Prospect, going through Beach Bay, through East End? If it's going to make the roads safer, reduce speed, why do it in one area if it's a good thing, and not put it along Southtown Road or anywhere if it's a good thing in one, why is it not transferable and implemented in another area?
In my opinion, it's not a good thing.
No,
Why it's not a good thing? I know, I understand you.
Yeah.
But if it was more something like I said, a speed bump that would slow you down. But this is telling you should not come across here. If you can get there, hit the Escalated Highway, because we don't want you on this old West Bay Road. This is going to be so privatized.
So that's your impression. That's what you think it's for.
Oh, for sure it is.
Okay.
And it belongs to the who's doing this is the princes of privilege. That's who's doing it. You know.
Yeah,
That's
and it's
not
interesting,
exactly
no?
what it is.
Interesting, right? We do something that impacts the public under the guise that is for the public's safety, and if your inference is correct, then that's another whole different connotation. But if it's done under that guise, why can't we replicate it another year? So it's good that you pointed it out. Make people at least be cognizant of it, right?
Exactly. People. I can't understand my own people that they I don't know whether they're so dramatized or hypnotized or whatever you call it, that they're afraid to speak.
Yeah. Well, one of the listeners says you're absolutely correct.
But in any case, it is a voice crying in the wilderness, but the chickens are coming home to roost. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Much is going to be said. The question is, what's going to be done? Anything final, sir?
It can be done if we really take more interest and try to get our people put together and show them what a reality check is. Things can be done. Because if it stays like this, my friend, it will only go from bad to worse. Okay?
Let's not make it happen, all right?
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
You're most welcome. Thank you. And to all, if I may, I want to invite each one to give serious thought and be willing to question the status quo, to champion the status quo if you believe, to be willing to engage and very passionate, meaningful, purposeful discussions. You can say it in an impassioned way. You can be soft-spoken. And unfortunately for some, they don't know how to respond to either approach. Some of us only want to hear our own voices, only want to share our own opinions and not be receptive to others. And I'm very, very grateful that increasingly so many of you, in particular, as I listen to the callers who come in for the record and those who join me here on Talk Today, who are willing to share a view, is in that dialogue, that willingness to engage, that we're going to have meaningful discussion. And then from there, perhaps we can take a decision and implement an action. An election is coming up. If you're eligible, to vote, please get registered, participate, not just during the campaign in whatever format, but be actively engaged. Many have shared, we have district councils, and they're in the Constitution, but they're not. Well, that's on us as a democracy. Perhaps it is, as many callers have said just today alone and in the morning show and again here on Talk Today, that we're not engaged in our parliamentarians. Well, maybe because it's been a sort of mindset of complacency. Perhaps it's been accepted that it's a fait accompli. There's no point doing anything because it's already determined and it's meaningless. I can't subscribe to that. What do we tell our children or our grandchildren? And what do we say to future generations when they look and they see and find that we failed? Billy Joel talks, or sings, I guess it would be, and one of his songs, woe be unto us if we are the reason for their unanswered prayers. I think it's important that we put, our words into action, that we're purposeful, pensive, productive, prayerful, positive, and above all, positioned to ensure that our people are the ones who prosper, not just financially, but economically. Because that'll include the social and the finance. Let's look at it together. Too many of us, we have a lot to say, but we don't say anything. We just hot air. A lot of us have a lot to say, but we don't because, we are afraid to offend. And it's not maybe how it's said sometimes, it's those who receive it unwilling to listen. So let's ask, can we be receptive to another's opinion? Are we willing to defend our position but at the same time be open and just enough to ensure that others have a voice? If not, last caller's question, have we become a dictatorship? Well, that could be in many forms. And complacency and apathy can easily set in when a people become so despondent, displaced, disenfranchised. We've been devalued, divided, disrespected, and seemingly discarded. Let's not let that happen. So whether you are here, by choice, whether you felt forced because your spouse relocated, your parents made a choice and this is where you found yourself, or whether you trace your roots back generations, if you've only been here for moments, this is where we are. Let's work together to make it better. And that better isn't just financial. That better is where we walk our streets safely, where we sit in our backyards and we laugh and we engage and we share and exchange and we enjoy. But that better means that sometimes we work a little bit harder, making the lives of those around us safer, healthier, happier. Well, many of us take. And all that we know how to do is take. And some of us give so much that, there's very little left to us, but we still give. There got to be a balance there somewhere. All right, let's see where we can, over the next, few weeks. I'll tell you more about something that's coming down the pipeline shortly, but as we get closer to the date, you have to stay tuned and find out what that's all about. Thank you very much for this distinct privilege and pleasure to sit and facilitate, and I will try to encourage. I will even, if I can, nurture and at times maybe just prompt you just a little bit. But thank you. God's willing, join me again tomorrow for more Talk Today.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Shaken yet standing firm. This is Radio